Hello, I'm Darren Slack with NFA's QB Cast, your weekly prep talk podcast designed to help you set your thermostat and to prepare you to play your best on game day. Well, it's week 11 for some of you, and for others it's more or less, but at this point, as we begin the home stretch of the season, during this time it's our goal to challenge you to maximize the postseason, manage pressure. First, let's talk about maximizing your postseason. The reason I said postseason is because some teams are continuing into the playoffs while some, you're finishing up your season. This week, I want to talk about those who are going into the playoffs, and next week, in our final QB Cast Motivational Talk of the year, we'll talk about those finishing up and heading into the offseason. For those heading into the playoffs, I want to give you a few key coaching points that I believe will help you position your mindset for a great run. First, congratulations on achieving your goal of getting into the postseason. Take a moment to enjoy this success. Now, I completely understand the mindset of preparation and the mounting pressure to go as far as we can in the playoffs, but I believe that in order to rightly orient your mind to the playoff and the postseason is to take stock of what you're achieving together, to appreciate it and to enjoy it as a team. You know, sometimes the expectation of getting to the finals causes us to miss the enjoyment of the process necessary to get there. If there was ever a chain-moving mentality in this game that mattered, it's when you have to win in the postseason. You got to move the chains mentally and emotionally. Enjoyment of the privilege to be there is an important perspective because it dictates the way you prepare. If you make the mistake of trying to ignore it, act like it's no big deal, or if you look ahead to the end, you're setting yourself up for failure. Engage in the game right in front of you is evidenced by the effort you expend in not only studying and training for your opponent, but in connecting with the event and what it means to your team. Ignoring this game in immaturity or looking ahead to the next game in pride increases the likelihood of finding yourself in the game at the point where you need to give more than you thought it would take to win and being unable to answer the call. I've seen this dozens of times when a lesser team takes out a better one because they weren't mentally engaged for whatever reason. And when the game is on the line, they cannot respond because it's too late. They didn't prepare mentally the proper way. Think about what this game means, the privilege of playing with your teammates, and don't let anything distract you from playing this one as hard as you can. There isn't another game. This is the only one that matters. Now, another thought process is don't overreact to mistakes. Playoffs doesn't mean perfection. Playoff games are won the same way regular season games are won, with more points. Mistakes are likely to be more magnified with each passing quarter of the game because of what's at stake if we lose. But you must not allow the failure to keep you from recovering with the same passion you did during the regular season. You are the same player with the same passion to get better, whether you're in the season or in the postseason. So stay calm and make a better play next time. Don't think about the outcome. Third, don't overreact to scoring or a lead on the scoreboard. Playoff games must be played to the last whistle. Don't look up at that scoreboard until the horn sounds. Now, I know it doesn't mean you never look at the scoreboard, but you don't interact with the score mentally until the game is complete. Strange and wonderful things happen in the playoffs unlike any other time during the season. This is usually because both teams are extremely motivated, are playing their best after 10 games together, and it's the playoffs because stuff like that happens. This means things can turn around quickly for the better or for the worse. No lead is considered safe and no deficit is considered insurmountable. It's going to require a big play, which is my next point. By big play, I mean an explosive momentum-shifting play. Big plays are right behind turnovers for the single greatest influence on game outcomes, especially in the playoffs. Big plays are the result of focus, determination, and passion on each play of every game. We cannot pick and choose which play will be the one, but we dig deep on every play to unlock those big plays that will tilt the game in our favor. Finally, believe you belong in this game. You know, many teams, especially ones that are new to the postseason, trip themselves up by not believing they deserve to be in the game or to win it. They literally doubt their legitimacy of their team being in the game. Somewhere in the back of their collective mind, they feel they aren't good enough to be the champions. This significant self-doubt is more common than you would think. I would submit that this is why many teams repeat year in and year out as champions. They work from the assumption that they're going to find a way to win, no matter what. Some teams act like they're going to lose no matter what, and this is a problem. You have to believe you belong there. The key to overcoming this dream-destroying thought process is leadership from seniors and key playmakers on the team. It's not just a rah-rah speech at the pep rally or in the locker room. It's leaders asserting their passion during the game, vocally and visually in their effort. They need to project confidence to the rest of the team by rising to the challenge of their opponent with big plays, player encouragement, and substantial mental toughness in their preparation in the practices and in the games. This last point, mental toughness, is the absolute key to playoff victory in my opinion, which leads us to what leaders must help the team do on playoff week and during the game to manage pressure. Listen, game pressure is real. Playoff pressure is more real. Pressure comes from expectations we place on ourselves and let others place on us to produce victories. Championships are not won by ignoring pressure, but rather by overcoming it better than your opponent does. Both teams feel pressure, that's unavoidable. But how coaches, captains, and key playmakers manage that pressure is key to the team's chances of victory. The priority of mental toughness is best maintained by understanding the keys to dealing with pressure. First, don't ignore it. Use it. Let the pressure drive you to prepare with more focus and vision. Embrace the expectation and let it raise your game. To try and act like you don't feel it just sets you up for failure when finally confronted with it on game day. Pressure from without forces us as players to exert pressure in our efforts to match it. You should see those who possess mental toughness to rise to the occasion, showing their ability to exert pressure on opponents with big plays and confidence. They may even seem outwardly unaffected by the game's expectation and pressure. Nothing could be farther from the truth. Everyone feels pressure. We just process it differently. The mentally tougher player abandons distraction, dials in their focus, and raises their passion to meet the challenge. They thrive on it. The immature, weaker player will begin making excuses, exhibiting fearful behavior through stupid mistakes, and not giving their best effort because they're afraid. They're afraid of losing. It's usually never the talent that goes first. It's the player's inability to deal with the increased expectations on them as a player and as a person. Some thrive on being the one with the ball in their hands and the last chance to make a play to win. Others have no desire to be in that situation. In order to become the one who wants the ball when the game is on the line, you have to be totally immersed in the opportunity. You can't have a backup plan, and you have to be all in on every play. Any sentiment or motivational statement about best effort you can give applies to what it will take to be this way in a game. It's going to take everything. You must exhaust your every fiber in pursuit of the prize. Even if you lose, while it may sting that you lost, you'll have no regret because you know there was nothing you had left to give. You know, it's the player who hedged their efforts, preserved their reputation, and didn't invest everything that's left with the pain of regret and wondering what could have been. It's one thing to be left wishing you could have not made the mistake you did or have a play to do over when you gave your best effort. But if you know in the bottom of your heart that you weren't mentally tough enough to leave it all on the field when you had the chance because you weren't ready, well, there's only one person who will be left to deal with the sting of a subpar effort. That's you. And that will hurt for a very long time. Managing pressure is not done with talk. It's done with actions. You press through the pressure with mental and emotional resolve that although you may be confronted with failure, fear, or faltering of teammates, you will not give in. That's a decision of the will worked out at every moment of the game week through the final whistle. And everybody approaches mental toughness a bit differently. But here's a few things that you can do to make sure you sustain it during the postseason. First, don't think about the opponent. Think about getting better on each rep at what you do. There's no value in being distracted by who you're playing. Truth is, the more you think about them, the less you're going to be focused on what your job is to do, what you can control, and your execution. Stay focused on your role, your job, and you take care of business. Move the chains, or stop them if you play on defense. Next, if you find yourself getting nervous, find something to distract you that is productive, like serving someone else. Don't escape into video games, TV, devices, and useless things that keep you up late at night or things that will distract you away from what's most important. Find a family member, a coach, a teacher, a friend, or someone else with a need and meet it. This effort will not only take your mind off the game, but put your mind right in what you will do on game day. You're going to give your best for those around you. Serving and encouraging others strengthens the heart and mind and affirms our sense of ourselves and what we stand for. It builds our confidence. Escaping into devices and games is the coward's way. You know it, the opponent will know it, and you'll be exposed on game day. Serve your way out of anxiety, not being selfish. Finally, have fun and smile a lot. There's usually a lot of fanfare leading up to game day in the playoffs, and as we said in our first QB cast regarding maximizing energy, you should smile. Smile your way into the playoffs with each chance you have to be excited about each step. It's never coming back this way again. Smile like you want to be there. Don't brood or get serious as it makes everyone around you nervous for you, and it's going to sap your mental and emotional energy to try to keep it up. By smiling and enjoying the process, your mind will sustain your energy and put you in a better frame of mind to handle pressure from the game itself. If you're worried and serious about the game, any mistake you're going to make is only going to be compounded and could tend to depress you in the middle of the game. However, keeping your mind on the joy of this opportunity and how much fun you're having will put some distance between you and the discouragement that could occur in a mistake. And you set your thermostat at 68 and breezy for game day, and it makes everyone enjoy the process more. I hope that encourages you, and I hope that helps you some as you work towards maximizing the postseason and managing pressure. Next week, we're going to finish up by preparing you for your best offseason ever. We wish you the best, NFA Nation, in your games this week, and we'll talk to you next week after you win.